Okay, let's just get into it. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is my first knitting podcast. My name is Eliza and I like to make things, but today I'll focus on a few knitting projects and also spinning that I've been working on lately. I've been wanting to do this for a while now, and I've just kept putting it off, but today is the day. We're going to do it before I let my brain convince me otherwise. So I hope you enjoy. It seems odd talking to someone when I assume that maybe like 3 people will watch this, but I hope you 3 people will enjoy it. And let me know what you think, and I'd really like to hear from you. And so I guess let's just get started. Let's get into it. I've got some notes and the project's down here, so if I'm looking, that's what that is. And I've also, in my little tests, noticed that the audio is a lot better when it's quite, like, not down here. So that's why I'm holding it on a little pencil stick thing. Hopefully that's all right. The first thing that I wanted to show you guys is my first pair of proper socks that I've made for myself that I actually really love and have been wearing out. Socks have been a bit of a saga for me. I've tried them in like DK weight and they were always just like a bit chunky and weird, and I never really got it right, and I think I was really quite tight with my tension and my hands would get really sore. But I went to Portugal last year, and when we were in Lisbon, I dragged my friend who I was traveling with out. It's like still in Lisbon, but it's a little bit further out from the main city, to the shop, the Retrosaria. I think that's how you say it. Which is just the most beautiful shop, and I couldn't bring too much home with me, but I wanted to get some yarn to sort of as a memento for the trip. So I got this and some other yarn that I made socks with that I'll show you in a minute, and this really sort of pushed me to try again with socks, because I was really keen to actually make a pair that I would like to wear. So they're this lovely sort of variegated kind of creamy colour. There's purples and a bit of a deeper pink, and then I'm not sure whether the camera's going to show it up, but there's also a really beautiful sort of light green, and I've used that as an accent colour on the heel and the toe. They're really cute. I love them a lot. I've been wearing them heaps. They're super duper warm, pure wool, except for the heel and toe, which I don't know what they were actually. And I love them. They're so good, so comfy. I really also loved to knit with this yarn. It was really nice. This was done in the Melbourne sock pattern, which I really thought was funny because I live in Melbourne, Australia, and it was just nice for me to have my Portuguese yarn with my Melbourne pattern. It could be a little bit tighter around the ankle, so in future I might maybe just do slightly less on the cast on. But otherwise, they fit really well. Then I was so excited about finally finishing a pair of socks that I got straight into the next pair. This again is the same yarn. Oh, it's Mondim yarn. It's their kind of sock yarn that they have. And I'd been working on another project that has sort of gone to the whip graveyard now, but it was working in cables for the first time. And I was really loving working in cables, and they were actually a lot easier than I thought they were going to be. You just need like another stick. So these are in a lovely kind of deep purpley kind of colour, mauvey, like a deep mauve. It has a really nice detail of the twisted rib, which I'd never done before. Bit of a pain in the ass to do, but it's so cute to come out. And then the ribbing. So I kind of hacked the Melbourne sock pattern with another pattern that I kind of use a little bit for the cables. but kind of meshed the two together. It worked out pretty well. I also love these. They're so cute with like, because I've done it not too tall, so not like an ankle sock, but not like way up my calf. So I think they like poke out from my docks and things, and I think they're really sweet. So that is the other pair of socks. The next project is something I don't have here because it's, I just posted it last week to my stepdad. I had knitted him a beanie for Christmas, which is now about 6 months ago. And it just wasn't right. Like, it was not him. It was very kind of chunky and like foresty green, which in of itself is fine, but it just made it was just like a bit of too hobbity sort of swamp vibe, which I kind of like, but it wasn't really him. So we decided together that that was not the beanie for him. It was not going to work, so I took that back with me, and since it started to get colder, he lives in quite a cold area, and he likes to play golf outside, so he's been pretty desperately wanting this beanie that I was supposed to give him at Christmas, or I aimed to give him at Christmas. I made that one in Bendigo Woollen Mills Baby Alpaca. I don't know much about this yarn because I got it from the backroom and it didn't have a label, but this is just some leftovers, so it's a beautiful kind of navy colour, and I've got a photo, so I'll insert that if I can. I also did cables on that because I was just on a bit of a cable train. I did that one. That one was also with a Bendigo Woollen Mills pattern, which I didn't aim for when I bought the yarn. My swatch is a bit off though. I can't really remember what happened, but I know that I added, I think, about 11 or 12 stitches, which was basically like another round of like the cable pearl knit sort of sequence. I didn't want it to be too small for him. Not to say he has a huge head, having to add an extra 12 stitches. No, I think my gauge was just a bit off. I had, on the pattern, it has 8473, which I'm not sure whether that is the pattern name or number. If I can find the link, I'll try and put it somewhere for you. I did also quite a long ribbing so that he could fold it up and have it nice and warm around his ears for the really cold mornings. So I'm just looking at the notes again. And the other thing I changed slightly was that I did more, a few more rows of decreases at the top. When it said to stop and like tie it, it just seemed like it was going to be too short. So I did, I think, 2 more rows of just knit 2 together, knit 1 to get to the end. Okay, should I now go on to knit whips or my other finished projects? Let's go my other finished projects. So basically it's just, some hand spun yarn, which I've just been really loving. I've put some more details about this yarn that I got from, this roving that I got from the Victorian Spinners and Weavers Guild open day, or like a sale day, where they bring in lots of different items from the members to people to buy. And I also added in my own little bits and pieces of scraps that I've had lying around to create sort of some colour flecks throughout. Really liking this, and I'm keen to knit something up with it. The other things that I've finished spinning recently is this lovely Corriedale. This I got as a fleece unwashed or anything from Bendigo Woollen Sheep Show 2024. And I've been in the process of working through spinning and learning how to clean the fleece and prep it and all that stuff. So enjoying that. And I actually had a swatch knitted up. Now we're talking about projects that are in the pipeline, but I'd quite like to make a big kind of cozy Aran style cable jumper with this. I think it would just be really beautiful and lend itself to how the fabric is shaping up with all the little bobbles and things, imperfections. That's all the hand spun yarn that I finished. So now I guess I'll move on to the whips. Okay, so this one I've been trying not to think about because I feel a bit sad about it. It is this stripy jumper, which I have filmed some footage of, which I might have already put out or might put out in a video at some point. But I was really enjoying knitting this for a while, but for some reason I've just really kind of lost motivation. I've got basically both sleeves to finish. So I'm not sure what to do, if I just finish it off or whether I pop it to the side for a little bit, because there's other things that I'm really motivated to get done. And I think maybe what the problem with this is that I'm not sure that I would really wear it. Like, I'm enjoying the process of knitting this up and it being scrappy and playing with the colours throughout, but yeah, I don't know. There's just something about it. Let me know what you think I should do with this. It was the step-by-step jumper by Handmade by Florence, which is just like a super good pattern for beginner jumpers, but I hacked it quite a bit to get to gauge and just things around the neckline and whatnot. So that's that. Kind of in the graveyard at the moment. Also something to note is that these are not all my whips. These are just whips that I've been working on in the last little while. There's a whole heap of things that have been on the sidelines for months. But the other thing that I'm actively working on right now is another beanie. I'm really in my beanie era, as they say now. But this was made from some alpaca, hand spun alpaca that I've done. I'll show you the fleece, the yarn actually. So this was my hand spun alpaca. It's got lots of imperfections, but on the whole I was really happy with it. It was lovely to spin. Like, I enjoyed this so much more than my Corriedale. It just flew through. It was beautiful. And I got this fleece, again, just like unwashed or the raw fleece, from a colleague of mine who very kindly gifted it to me. She lives on a big-ish property and has a couple of alpacas that she doesn't use the fleece of, so she gave it to me, which was so nice, and I wanted to make her something to say thank you. So I've just finished the ribbing. It's quite a long ribbing again because I like to be able to, I think it's nice to fold it up and have it really cozy and warm around the ears, which is I think where we lose a lot of heat. So that's what it would kind of look like. What do you think? My problem with this one at the moment is that it's kind of hard to see, but there's cables. I've done cables on this. And I think because the hand spun yarn is quite sort of bobbly and imperfect, the cables don't have very good stitch definition. And they make it look like it's just like kind of even lumpier, or like some weird lumps in the knitting. And so I just feel like maybe I really like the ribbing part. I think that looks lovely and squishy and beautiful. But I really don't like the cables, so I kind of feel like maybe I'll just make the whole hat. I'll frog back to the ribbing and just either do stockinette or maybe like some ribbing. Probably not a 1x1, but I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 and 1. Like 3 knit, 1 purl, or something like that. But we'll see. It's quite tight on me, but my colleague who I'm giving it to is quite petite. And I have quite a big head, so I haven't really like monitored the size of her head, but I'm assuming it'll be smaller than me just by her like height and whatnot. So the yarn on this one obviously is the hand spun alpaca that I made, and the pattern is just self-drafted. I'm just been kind of making it up as I go in terms of the pattern, which, you know, has its merits, but also kind of fucked me up when I finished the ribbing, because I thought I didn't originally plan to do cables, but then I was on such a cable bandwagon that I was like, I'll just put cables on it, put cables on everything. But then because I hadn't planned that, I had I think it was how many stitches? I think it might have been like 67 or 8. No, it would have been 7. 68 maybe, or 66. And I was like trying to work out what kind of cable pattern I could do to fit within that. I was felt like I was definitely not the math kid in school, and I was probably the annoying one who was like, when am I ever going to use these? And then I was looking up, you know, what is a factor of 66 to try and work out, you know, I think it was 12, if it was 12 or 11, or how many stitches should be in each of the pattern rounds. Does that make sense? I don't know. So that's all the things that I kind of have actively on the go at the moment. There is some fleece that I've been prepping, but I haven't included that because it's just like fluff. But I'm really keen to dye some of it, which I might make a video about, because a lot of it is just the white. I've got a bunch of white Corriedale, and I thought it'd be really fun to dye it and spin it into something beautiful. The other thing is that I would really like to make another beanie for myself out of the hand spun bluey speckled yarn. And the other thing on my mind is maybe a vest while it's still cold. I think that is all that I have to share with you today. I'd really like to keep doing this and keep showing you what I'm working on. It would probably just be a really beautiful way for me to keep track of my own progress and what I'm making. I'm really bad at documenting, and this has forced me to write some stuff down, so I appreciate that. And I really appreciate you watching. Hopefully see you in another video, and have a lovely day, and let me know what you're working on. Thanks for being here. Bye.